Welcome back, guys. I wanted to give you an update on this diesel shortage. There was a lot of hype about diesel being out in 25 days, which would cause catastrophic problems, like Tucker said.
And here's the reality. We have 25 days to avert economic catastrophe. Catastrophe is what will happen if we run out of diesel fuel. According to data from the Energy Information Administration, by the Monday of Thanksgiving week, that's 25 days from now, there will be no more diesel. So what's going to happen then? Well, everything will stop. That means trucks and trains and barges all unable to move. Farm equipment will shut down. There will be no deliveries because there will be no trucks. There'll be no diesel generators. And then inevitably our economy will crash because everything runs on diesel fuel.
Now, I know a lot of you probably seen that clip, but I got some updated information. Should you be worried? That's the question. Updated information coming right up. Welcome back to all of our great subscribers, and thank you so much for all the comments you leave me down there, your input. If you're brand new here and you like news that affects you, and you like prepping tips, emergency preparedness how-tos weekly, be sure to hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one. So we're gonna go over a couple things in case some of you don't know about the big diesel shortage, that they're saying that we're only a couple weeks out until total catastrophe. That's right, about 2 weeks. Are you ready for that? So let me start off by showing this short little news clip just to catch everyone up, and then we're gonna go into some really important things that I found out, my conclusion, what I think about this whole thing and how it's gonna unfold. And then to finish the video off, I've got a dynamite tip that I just did myself.
From small trucks to big trucks, diesel fuel helps the world stay connected.
Economy in the supply chain is fueled by diesel.
But Alex Miller with Florida Trucking Association says the tank is close to running on empty.
Well, there has been a shortage for several months now, and we've seen the pain financially at the pump for that long.
The shortage stems from a few issues. A few refineries closed. The cutoff from Russian imports is affecting supply, and distillate inventory is at its lowest level since 2008. That's all according to the Energy Information Administration. Economist Mike Snipes says this could impact gas prices, which will likely trickle down to everyday spending.
If the price of gas is going up for everybody, that's going to include, the post office, UPS. It's going to include all of those people. And so if those shipping costs go up, then that's going to make the holiday season just that much more expensive.
Snipes believes relief could come in the form of an extended gas tax break, but that comes at a cost.
It's going to be a pretty big source of tax revenue. And the longer we keep the tax holiday, then that's just going to extend that decrease in tax revenue.
While Miller says she wants to see more help on the federal level.
Well, the federal government really needs to step in. We need to start increasing production and then start looking at the leasing for oil and get on top of this, particularly before the winter, because when you look at northeastern states, they also use the oil to heat their homes.
In Tampa, Jada Williams, ABC Action News.
So as you can see, a lot of hype out there on this. And we've seen this before, right? You guys can go check out the EIA site and get a bunch of data. Some researchers are saying that the diesel refinery problem is not a crude oil problem. Therefore, it should not change the price per barrel. But if it was the problem, what we would see is a continued hike in the prices, more than what we're seeing. But it will eventually affect the diesel PPG. And the whole big diesel shortage 25-day thing that we're hearing about, that is if the diesel refineries shut down completely. We would go bone dry in about 25 days, from what I understand. Because the crazy thing is, the two largest companies right now are reporting record quarters, record sales. That's right, they're making more money right now than they ever have. A couple tidbits from the Economic Times, they're talking about the shortage, reporting saying that there's only 25 days left in the supply. According to the reports, international shipments are en route but won't get to the United States until the end of October. According to Goldman Sachs, the refinery closures and underwritement in refining capacity are to blame for the scarcity, which is now affecting Europe as well. It goes on to say that President Joe Biden is putting together emergency plans to avoid the potential wintertime natural gas shortage. Further on down, as the cold months of the year approach, heating oil already is being rationed in New York City area and supplies of diesel, which is necessary for shipping and critically low in the Northeast. According to the EIA, stocks are already decreased by 113 million barrels by the end of July, the lowest it's ever seen since 1996, and before that, 1954. Then it says, according to Reuters poll analysts, gasoline inventories decreased by almost 1.1 million barrels last week. It goes on and on, pretty much blaming Russia due to their invasion of Ukraine. Now, what's not adding up to me is all of the reports. The reports don't show that we should be having such an issue. Record sales, the numbers across the board look fairly normal, and even though the inflation we're dealing with is already terrible, it doesn't align with the shortage that they're talking about. Prices should be astronomical. So you got to remember, if they want us to have a shortage, we'll have a shortage. Meaning it might not be a shortage, but it'll be a shortage to us. It might be there, but we won't get it. And that can be for particular reasons. Agenda driven, and if that's the case, we'll see major price hikes. Shipping costs will get insane. We won't be able to afford much, and stores will not get restocked. So now I know a lot of you guys out there research more than I do, so please share your thoughts, your observations down in the comments below, because our community thrives in the comments and your comment will be read. I know this because I spend hours and hours down in the comments every single day. So please do share what you know. So let's talk about another thing that does not make any sense. Well, it does make sense for a country that does not care about their people. But hear this, in a time of inflation, shortages possibly running out, why in the world would we be sending so much fuel, sending so much diesel in the middle of a diesel crisis to other countries, including Europe, as we speak? Now, I can understand from a business standpoint, maximum profits, but at a time when we're being warned of a diesel shortage wrecking our country, like Tucker said,
well, everything will stop. That means trucks and trains and barges all unable to move. Farm equipment will shut down. There will be no deliveries because there will be no trucks. There will be no diesel generators. And then inevitably, our economy will crash.
If it would cause that much catastrophe, you would think that the leadership of a country would step in and protect its people, protect our country, because they can do that. But they're not. They're making a lot of money to the highest bidder, which absolutely drives me nuts. How does it make you feel? I don't think people realize that it takes diesel to run just about everything. Everything is delivered by diesel. The energy crisis is a real deal. There's a war going on, and it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And a fear many people have is, will there be a better? Will we get to that? I pray there will be. The energy crisis will result in a food crisis, and the food crisis will result in empty shelves. So prepping now for SHTF scenarios like that is key. Now, I've reported on gas shortages, fuel shortages, diesel shortages, inflation in the past, and a lot of it's happened. A lot of us aren't doing super great out there. Put your seatbelt on, because I think it's going to get a lot worse, because we have a much bigger problem that's happening right now. A much bigger problem, a big crisis at play. Will the diesel shortage happen like they're hyping it up it will? I doubt it, but at the same time, one of these days, things are going to hit the fan. Because like I said before, Europe is already getting there. Did you know that they're stealing wood? Wood has gotten so expensive with inflation that they're stealing cords of wood to the point where they're putting GPS units on cords of wood. You can't tell me things aren't falling apart. Getting to the point where people are stealing, theft, wood. I have seen images of people cutting up park benches over in the UK. Are you guys ready for times like that? It's something to think about. So as far as the short term, they're saying that the Southeast is going to get hit with this shortage, inflated prices, probably the soonest. So if you guys are down there, brace yourself for maybe some shortages and maybe some inflated prices. Because I can tell you what, theft is on the rise, even in my area. So I just recently added this cover to the back of my truck because I have stuff back there all the time. I like this one because it's aerodynamic. And this one, you can actually fold it all the way up and still utilize your entire bed. Like I said, I purchased this thing on Amazon due to the rise in theft around here. I don't like going to town having stuff in the back of my truck, and when I come out to my truck, wondering if it's still there. It's getting that bad, and you guys need to be thinking about security. It's got multiple locking points. I can stand on that thing with its weight rating. I do a ton of research before I buy something because I want to get the best bang for the buck. So if this has been on your hit list lately, or you want to step up your security with your rig, this one's a good one to go with. It's not a sales thing. It's just a product that's going to work really good for me, and it might help you out if you're in the market for that. With that said, guys, if you haven't already started prepping, it's time to be prepping for all kinds of stuff. Food shortages, diesel shortages, crime, major inflation. And if you guys missed this video right up here, I go over a report that shows how we might see world famine at the beginning of next year. Stay safe out there, guys. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you on the next one.